money man. Big with the money in his hand.
Well, thank you. All right, I want to keep this light and fun as much as possible. Allison, who I'll introduce in a minute, already told me that I have to behave and not to be too off color or whatever, but I'll try to do my best. So I am Sam the Money Man. No, my name is not Sam, but I've thought about changing it, by the way.
Sorry.
Okay. So, and people actually now, it's fun because people actually call me either the Money Man or Sam when they see me, and that's pretty cool. All right, am I doing this?
Yep.
Oh. Yep. Okay, so here's a presentation overview. We're going to talk about 4 different things. Hopefully it's not going to be too boring. At the end, we'll ask questions. You can ask questions and interrupt me if you'd like. If I'm going to be talking about something later, I'll let you know. If it's a specific, particular to your situation that is only like going to benefit you guys, I'd rather you hold that to the end, and I'll stay afterwards and ask any questions, or you can always call me or anything like that. Okay, so 4 things: maximizing your investment returns, navigating loan options, how the loan process works, and common pitfalls. Now, let's see. Anybody here at my last presentation? Really? Nobody here? Good. No, one okay, who else? I don't see one. Oh, thank you. All right, so you guys, this will be a great review for you. It's changed a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple more things that have a little bit more to do with today's environment. All right, question, just to get a temperature of the room, real estate experience. How many people have not done a real estate project yet, but want to? Great, that's awesome. I hope you guys do. I hope you do it soon. And this organization, Jumpstart, is, as you guys know, I don't have to tell you, is a great, amazing organization that will give you education and give you the background and the information so that you guys can all get started. I'm only here because of them, and I'm here to support them in what they do, so that's great. Now, how many people have done like 1 to 2 projects? Okay, good. 3 to 4? 5 and above? Wow, that's awesome. That's a good room. Okay, now, how many people are currently working on a rehab project right now that may need long-term financing? Okay, so this is why you're here. This is exactly what we're going to talk about. So this is going to be great for you guys. Oh, sorry. Let's raise those hands again. Anybody working on the, okay, how many got your initial financing through Jumpstart? That's not enough. If you guys, for whatever reason, if you haven't done so, please look into the Jumpstart program. They have the best, listen, my job, I make my living by giving loans out, but they have the best rates and the best program in town. So really talk to them about getting started next time on your next project, when you're buying something, a rehab project. All right. I hope I earned my money right there, guys. All right, so that's me. I'm an independent mortgage broker, okay? My background, I'll be very brief because it's not very great. I went to Penn State, which was great. I majored in lacrosse and fraternity partying until I got injured, and then I actually got a business degree. Then I moved to California because my big brother in the fraternity moved to California, so I thought I had to as well, so I moved out to California. I did corporate sales. I worked for 2 LA property management firms. I worked for 2 startups. I came back home. I worked for I ran a multi-million-dollar clinical research firm for about 17 to 20 years, about 20 years. I ran that right here in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. And then in 2018, I decided to get into the real estate world. And that's what I did. I started out as an active investor, a wholesaler, and account executive with a local lender. But what I didn't like about being with a local lender was that I couldn't feel like I could serve my clients well because I was stuck in the constraints of that lender. You know what I mean? I could only offer the programs that they had. So I went independent in 2018 or 2023. I went independent And now I'm registered with about 20 different lenders across the country, and that gives me freedom. It gives me the freedom to actually, on your behalf, to go out and find the best programs to the different lenders, depending on the situation, get the best rates and terms. I couldn't do that when I was with one lender. Now I represent about 20 different lenders.
And I represent like 100.
Getting to that, but yes, Allison does. So I'm going to introduce Allison in a minute. Sorry, honey, you didn't. Honey, I'm sorry. Keep this professional. I guess you already know. She's my partner in life and my partner in business, and definitely the brains behind this. She knows this stuff better than I do. She's also a licensed LO in the states of Pennsylvania and Delaware. And so if anybody needs help with that, we're a full service, the two of us are a full service company because we can do any loan. As you can see here, well, in the next slide, we do everything. I work with investors mostly. Allison works on the conventional side. So anybody looking to buy a primary residence, a second home, vacation home, if we're also lucky or whatever, she can help you with any of that. So how I help investors, I special and advisory service all across the investment areas, as you can see here. Wholesaling strategy, obtaining and sourcing properties. I do consulting for some people. If you feel the need that you need a consultant to get you started or move past where you are, if you're stuck in a rut, I do that. I do comprehensive real estate portfolio analysis, detailed fix and flip analysis, which I'll talk about a little bit later too, and objective lender and product comparisons. That's because I have 20 different lenders that I can go to. So I don't care who I use, the lender. I want you guys to get the best deal. So benefits of using an independent mortgage broker, I kind of already talked about this, but I have access to multiple lenders, personalized solutions, saves you time and effort, options for best rates and terms, multiple loan options. You guys didn't hear that, did you? Assistance with complex scenarios, expertise and guidance, and I always get a little burpy when I drink Coke, so I apologize. All right, now, and this is going to sound hokey. Okay, it is. But honestly, I work for you, not the banks. That's what I do. You're the borrower, you're my client, I work for you. The lenders are not my clients. When you work for a lender, it's a little bit different. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we're going to start out with maximizing your investment returns. Okay. Anybody like to read this for me? Okay, I'm going to ask for volunteers.
Volunteer or I'm choosing you. Anybody? All right.
Quote break. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. Will Rogers said that back in 1930, that's a long time ago, guys, and almost 100 years later, it's still the whole game in 9 words.
Thank you.
96 years ago, it's still the same. It's still the truth today. Now, and this is exactly what we're talking about, right? We're talking about buying a property, fixing it up. Now, there's two finishes, which we'll get into as well. You either sell it or you hold on to it, and you do a long-term loan, which I'm going to be talking about, a refinance loan. So this is what we're talking about. When you do that, when you hold it, you have rental income, right? So you're making money off the rental. And what is that property doing while it's sitting there, having renters in it? It's appreciating in value. So what Will Rogers said, does anybody old enough to know who Will Rogers is? Anyway, what he said is true today. Okay, this, again, so important. A lot of people don't talk about this. I do, it's very important. Do your due diligence and your research up front. This can make or break your deal. You need to be thorough. You need to know what you're doing, okay? You need to evaluate all the details from cost from beginning to end, and you need to look at the big picture because there are costs that people don't talk about, okay? There's holding costs, there's insurance, there's payoffs, there's escrows, there's a whole bunch of things that you have to do, and people get in trouble when they do not look at that, and they just rush to get into a property, and they don't look at all the numbers. Okay, here we go. Now, this is where I was going to introduce Allison, but okay, utilize a good team. Every investor should have a good team. This is just some of the people you need: realtors, contractors, attorneys, title companies, lenders, brokers, insurance agents, property managers, credit specialists, insurance. I know there's an insurance broker here somewhere. I met him right there. Raise your hand. Yeah, right there. So these guys are all important as part of your team. Already introduced Allison. She is my partner. Back there, that nice young lady back there helping me out there. That's Jenna Lamb. Jenna is part of my team. She's a realtor. She's amazing. She's bright. She's young. She's energetic. She's a go-getter. And realtors can be and should be very important on your team. They can find you places. They can find you places on the MLS. They can find you places off the MLS. But not only that, they can do evaluations for you. Jenna just did an evaluation for me. I'm representing a group that's doing a 6-lot ground-up construction in Philly, and she got me a great analysis of comps in that area. So she's terrific. If anybody needs a real, and there's other good realtors. Any other realtors here? I know my man from Pittsburgh's a realtor. You're a realtor too, as realtor property management? Right. Realtors are very important. Utilize them. Okay. All right. Hard truth. Well, truth, hard truth, whatever. But most deals are not actually great returns on investment. When I analyze a When I analyze a fix and flip property, 50% of them, seriously, 50% of them, I tell the borrowers or the clients, I say, don't do it because they're just not good enough deals. You don't, especially first timers, you don't, because that could ruin your whole investment life. If you get into a bad one, the first one, it's tough to recover. But so when I analyze a property, I look at it very closely and make sure there's going to be a great deal for you guys. Yes, sir.
What is the major failure of those deals?
The failure?
Yeah.
Well, most people don't analyze it correctly, okay? So first of all, there's a lot of things, we're going to get into that, but just hold that thought because we're going to go through this and I'll talk about all the pitfalls at the end, actually. So see if I answer it. But most likely people don't look at the costs and they don't know what the carrying costs are. And I can't tell you how many calls I get from investors that are in the middle of rehabs, not Jumpstart people, but are in the middle of rehabs and run out of money and are like, hey, can you help me? And those are almost impossible to help. When you have a rehab project going and you run out of money and the property doesn't have the value that it should, they are the toughest ones to help out and get money for them. So please don't fall in that category. That's why you really need to analyze what you're doing before you get into it. Okay, yeah, work with a trusted resource. I just said that. Like Jumpstart and myself. Okay, so exit strategy. You need to know what your exit strategy is up front. Now it can change. It can change, but you need to know what's going to happen up front. And there's really only two for this. When you're buying and look, this is investing, okay, real estate, right? So what you want to do is you want to buy a undervalued property. You want to renovate it, put money into it, make it valued higher, right? And then what do? You got two things to do. You either sell it and keep the profit and go into another project, or you want to hold on to it and you do what's called a DSCR, cash out refinance, or a DSCR, rate and term refinance. It's a long-term refinance right after you do the fix and flip, okay, or the fix and hold. Those are the only two exit strategies. Either you sell it or you refinance it, get renters, and have income. And that is a way to have passive income as you go. Thank you. So there are many differences between the two. I'm not going to go into all of them, but as you can see here, the pros: quick profit for the fix and flip, no long-term commitment, high potential returns in a hot market. Cons: high risk if the market conditions change, and we've seen that happen every once in a while, even while you're doing the renovations, especially if you underestimate how long the renovation's going to take and how long it's going to do to sell the property, because the property sits there. And all these things you need to take into account when you look at a fix and flip, and people don't always do that. They think, I'm just going to put the money, but they don't understand that you might have to hold this property for a month or 2 or 3. Now, in this market, it's a little bit better. Properties are selling, but still, that could happen. Capital gain, that's cons. High risk if the market changes. Renovation costs exceed estimates, and subject to capital gains. As far as the buy and hold, the pros: passive income, tax benefits, long-term wealth, and requires property management, which is not a problem because there's some great property management people in here. But if you have 1 or 2 properties, maybe you're not getting in there. But as you get bigger, that's a really good move to make, so you don't have to worry about it, because then they handle all of these tenant-related issues. And we all know, if we've been following the news and we've been to these seminars here, you know that the tenant-landlord issues in Philadelphia, it's pretty tough as a landlord. It's very tough as a landlord. So be aware of all that. All right. So can anybody answer this question for a pack of, what do we have? Sour Patch Kids, of course, because I am a kid. What is the specific exit strategy or method that experienced investors use to maximize wealth and generate wealth? Anybody, come on. Say it again. Buy and hold, yes, but specifically the program. It's cold in here. Who said it? My man. Okay. Burr, that's right. And does everybody know, who does not know what Burr is? And that's okay if you don't. This is not Burr. Okay. Who does not know what it is? Okay, so that's fine. So just read, right? So it's a five phase. You buy the property, you rehab it, you rent it, you refinance it, and then you repeat. And that's what you do, okay? And it's a great acronym. The importance of financing to free up capital. Keep going, yeah. So refinancing is very, very important. You're going to tap into the equity that you create. Everybody understand that? Because you're buying the property low, you're fixing it up, and you're creating capital because the property is going to be worth more money after you're done fixing it up, okay? Now, a very basic example, and probably not a very good one, okay, but a very basic example, because we're not talking about closing costs, we're not talking about LTVs, but very basic example, you buy a place for $100,000, you put $50,000 in, you're into that property for $150,000. If the property's worth $200,000, you've just created $50,000 of equity in a property, and that's what you're doing, okay? That's the whole idea behind this. Okay. Timing is a key. When to refinance. So before you can refinance, renovations, you have to finish the renovations, okay? You can't finish without the renovations being finished. The whole I'm sorry?
No, I was saying that you ain't got a good contractor.
Well, that's a big problem, and we all know that. Any contractors here? Good, we can, sorry.
I'm new. I just got my license.
Go like this.
Don't worry. I did that when you said about the roads.
So anyway, there's a big problem with contractors out here. Now, we've all heard the stories, your neighbor, your family, whatever, we've all run into contractor problems where they take the, you see the stories, they take the deposit. Now, not all contractors are bad. I have some very good contractors. You guys all know good contractors too, but it is a problem, okay, just like that young lady said. But renovations must be complete before it's achieved its maximum value and can be refinanced. Doesn't mean that we can't start work, and this is what a lot of people don't tell you. Once you finish the renovations, okay, and then you get a tenant in there because you're going to hold on to that property, while you're doing the renovations, 30 days ahead of time, contact me or somebody like me and start getting your paperwork in, because that way we can get all the paperwork done, collect all the documents, and when you're ready, and then when the renovations are done and you have a tenant in there, then we can start the process and get it refinanced, rather than waiting another 30, 45 days or something, because the process takes 30 days or so, but sometimes, nobody's perfect, and sometimes you guys, like you, takes a while to get the documents. Wait, not you. Where's Michelle? There she is. Sometimes it takes a while to get the documents to me. Anyway, good question. Great question, actually, and I will answer it right now. No. It's better to have a tenant in there, yes, okay? And we'll talk about that in a little bit, short-term versus long-term tenants. It's much better to have a tenant in there, but there are some lending companies that will lend to you without a tenant in there, but the rates are a little higher, and so it's always better to have a tenant in there. But there are companies that will lend without a tenant in there. Okay, some lenders have seasoning periods. You can't refinance. Sometimes you have to hold the property 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, something like that. So you got to know that kind of information too. And market conditions again. Everybody getting this? Yeah? Okay. All right, navigating loan options. Okay, who's ready to read another quote? Come on, somebody else. There he is. I'll get you next. Awesome. He's closer.
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Ben Franklin. The cheapest deal you'll ever do is...
Don't worry about that. Ben Franklin, everybody. If he says it, it's got to be true, right? His words and what he did 250 years ago still stand true today. He was a remarkable man. And he liked the ladies, so he can't be all that bad. Anyway. And that's why you're here, okay? You're investing in knowledge. If my parents were alive to hear me actually say that I have knowledge, they would be very, very proud and know that I'm probably full of shit, but whatever. Anyway, so these are different loan types, okay? Hard money, fix and flip, rehab, bridge, purchase loans, various types, refinance, various types, ground up construction, commercial loans, portfolio blank loans, conventional doc, which we talked about, what Allison does, and debt service coverage ratio. These are all types of loans that you will at some point possibly use in your investment empire, okay? So, and I happen to be able to do all of those, actually. And here, I'm not going to go into this too much, but these just show the differences between a fix and flip, which is called a bridge loan. I don't know if you guys knew that because it's a short-term loan. A DSCR purchase, cash out, or rate in term, or a conventional loan. All have benefits and all have a purpose. And yes, you can take a picture if you want. Please take pictures. Me too. Any picture on me that's on that I find I charge $5 for online. Oh, there you go. So no need to take pictures, unless you want a picture of me. So they all have benefits, and they can all be used, okay? A bridge loan is a short-term loan, usually 12 months, can be extended, 12 to 18 months. A DSCR is usually a 30-year fixed rate, which is great when the rates are good, and a conventional loan also 15 to 30 years, okay? But they all have different purposes.
I have a question.
The lady that has the reserved table. Yes, yes, my dear.
So are there any penalties for early payoff?
Prepay penalties.
Yes. Are there any?
Are you talking about what kind of?
Any of the loans that you just mentioned?
Okay, so on a fix and flip loan, which is a short-term bridge loan, there are usually 3 months that they want. They want like a 3-month minimum, something like that, some depending on the lender. On a long-term loan, like a DSCR loan, 30-year fixed, yes. And we'll get into those. We're going to talk about prepayment penalties, but yes, there are prepayment penalties. There don't have to be, but it's better to have a prepayment because if you do a loan with no prepayment penalties, it will increase the rate. And we'll get into that. I'll talk about that, okay? Good question, though. Very good question. That's why she has a reserved table, guys. All right, so for this presentation, we are specifically looking at refinancing a short-term rehab loan into a long-term with cash flow, okay? All right, now, how many people here are familiar with a DSCR loan or the term and how they work? Anybody? Okay. I'm tired. You want to give the presentation then? You want to do the section? No.
Debt service coverage ratio.
There he is. Give the man some candy. Come on, Allison, start throwing that stuff out. Jenna, grab a handful of candy. Start handing some candy out. We got to get rid of this stuff. Oh my God. This poor guy. It's not personal. I don't think so. Okay. Basics, the basics of a loan, okay? So here we go. DSCR stands for, just like the man said. Yes. All right, everybody. Loans are designed for? The focus is on property's ability to cover the debt through rental income. Everybody, no?
Personal income verification or tax returns required.
Let's read that one more time, because that's pretty freaking incredible. One more time. No what?
No personal income verification or tax returns required.
These loans are designed for you guys, okay? Doesn't matter if you have a job or not. It all depends on the property and the rental income. It's not a scam. This is just how it's set up, and it's amazing. It's not like a conventional loan when you're buying a house and you need to get a mortgage. This is not like that. Anybody knows what LTV stands for? Give everybody candy. No. Okay, loan to value. Up to 75%. Now what that means is simple math. If your house is worth $100,000, 75% of that is $75,000, and that's what the LTV means, loan to value. That's how much loan you can get out of a property, all right? A minimum DSCR typically requires 1 to 1.25, okay? So we're going to talk about that for a minute. What is really a coverage ratio? And Here it is. It's a very easy calculation. You don't have to do math, but it's very easy. If your property generates $2,200 in monthly rental income and your monthly payment, which is the mortgage or the loan, okay, the taxes, the insurance, the interest, all that kind of stuff equals $1,500 a month. You divide 1,500 into 2,200, and let me do it in my head. Yeah, it turns out to be 1.47. Yeah, I'm pretty good like that. So, all right, and that is a very good debt service coverage ratio. Companies, oh, where's the other one? Where'd it go? Yeah, that's fine. So companies want a one-to-one, which means, again, if you have rental income of $1,000, using simple, $1,000, you want your expenses not to exceed $1,000. If your expenses, your mortgage, property insurance, taxes, insurance, all that kind of stuff equals $1,000, and your rent equals $1,000, that's a 1-to-1. That's a 1.0 coverage ratio, which is good, but you're not making any money. You need your rental income to exceed the amount of money that your expenses, yes, and that's how you get your debt service coverage ratio. And in the lending world, the higher the coverage, the coverage ratio, the better. So a 1.0 is okay, you can get a loan, but you're not making any money. A 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 is better. And the higher it is, some lenders will give you a better rate depending on the coverage ratio. Now, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it, but some lenders do negative ratios, go to like 0.85. Now, as your advisor, I would advise you not to do that, but there are specific situations in which that would be okay. Okay, and the specific situation might be like if you needed cash to get into another property and then you are going to plan on refinancing out and paying that loan off, something like that to get into a property would be okay.
Is that short term?
That would be a short term, yes. Even though you're doing it long term, you can pay it off, and there's ways to do it. But there are specific, and I shouldn't even talk about this much, but some companies do go negative. But be careful of that, because it might sound great, but you're not making any money. If your debt service is under 1, you're losing money every month. So you don't want to do that for a long period of time. All right, you want to go back to the other, did I do it? Okay. All right, so cash out versus rate and term. So, all right, everybody, well, I'll read this. Rate and term refinance often improve a DSCR by reducing monthly payments by lowering the interest rate, okay? When you do a rate and term, and I'll show you an example of this, when you do a rate and term, you usually get a better rate. You do a cash out, that's awesome, okay? And we'll talk about doing a cash out because that's what we want to do. You can take that cash and you invest in another property, but the rates are a little bit higher with a cash out. And that's what cash out refinance allow you to extract equity while maintaining a strong DSCR cash flow. The cool
Excuse me. Explain that again, rate and term refinance.
okay, so you buy the property, you fix it up, and you decide not to sell it, and you want to hold on to it. Let's say you have $150,000 invested in that property, and you want to refinance it. The property's worth $400,000. Okay, you had $150,000 in, property's worth $400,000. Great deal. We should all have that kind of a deal, right? Yeah, right? So if you want to refinance and you do a cash out, they will give you 75% of $400,000 is $300,000. And how much you in for? $150? That's a hell of a deal, right? You take all that cash out. Okay, the difference between $150 and $300 is $150,000. Now, of course, there's closing costs, fees, blah, blah, blah. You got to pay me. No, there's, well, come on, let's be honest here. I'm not just, I'm not good looking enough to walk into a bar and get drinks paid for me. I got to make some money. So, actually, I am pretty good looking, but whatever. Let's not debate that. So that's one thing. So that's a cash out. You walk away with $150,000, pretty good deal, and it's a 30-year fixed rate. And then you have $150,000 to, buy me a boat or take me on vacation or at least a dinner, Michelle, or something. But a rate and term means that what you want to do is you just want to cover your $150,000. You don't care about taking cash out. You just want to cover your $150,000 and pay that off. So that's a rate and term, and those are better rates because you're not pulling cash out. So did everybody get that? Did I explain that okay? Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, go back. So it doesn't matter. So you can also purchase a property using this type of a loan, right? So think about that. you can purchase a property using this type of loan, but you need 20% down, but you don't need to have no income, no tax returns, anything like that. You can purchase a property like this. But it is 20% down, so, and
But you said DSR, so you don't have to have no income coming from the property to purchase it?
the property has to be income generated. Yes, because two things with a DSCR loan: value of the property and income on the property, rental income. Those are the two important factors. Okay, where are we? Factors. Look at that. Right in rental income. Higher rental income improves the DSCR. Does that make sense? The higher rental, the better the DSCR. Okay. Operating expenses. Lower expenses increase the net operating income, boosting the DSCR. Lower interest rates and longer terms reduce monthly debt service. It's a little complicated, but anyway, you want higher rental income, you want lower expenses. That makes sense in any business, right? Prepayment penalties can also affect the rate. We'll talk about that. And market conditions can also change. Let me see. What's that on the bottom? Okay, well, that's a given. All right. Key considerations when choosing. Anybody want to read these for me? Because I'm tired. Anybody? Where's my guy there? Just the headings. We don't need to get into details.
All right. Real estate marketing. Key considerations when choosing a loan. Real estate market, geographical concerns, economic outlook, and type of project.
All these things affect the deal and can affect the deal. All right? All right, other miscellaneous factors. Now, here's something we need to talk about. The environment's a little crazy, right? You got all this stuff going on between landlords and tenants. You had all this bad stuff happening down in Baltimore, which is affecting Philadelphia now. A lot of lenders are pulling out of Philadelphia now. And these zip codes with one lender specific, I put these up here, they're not lending in these zip codes. It doesn't mean that you can't get a loan in there. It's just that one lender I have does not lend in these zip codes. It's just an example to tell you that things are tough now because, well, you can read it for yourself. Many lending companies are pulling out of Baltimore, parts of Philly due to the fact that state investors, where's my New York guy? Your fault. Okay? Mostly from New York, used inflated appraisals along with a lack of repayment triggered widespread foreclosures, and lenders are not lending a lot, so it's tough. All right, so this is something else. You don't want to buy in an area where you can't get a refinance, so it's something that you need to check into.
So people were buying properties saying it was higher than they should have been getting a huge loan and couldn't repay it.
It was a scam, yes. Yeah. Yep.
When did you see
I'm sorry?
this information was on the internet?
Yes, it was on the news. You must have not listened that day. Okay.
But Sam, they get a loan and they run away and then they keep the money for the loan? Can't the banks find
It's a big scam. I look, I'm not, I didn't do it, so I don't know how it happens.
With two
But
appraisers, actually.
is that what they did?
Two appraisers with like 300 properties.
Yeah.
And they inflated everything
How can banks not find you and get their money back? Isn't that the whole point of having a loan?
behind the scenes.
Okay, gotcha.
One of the good things about having an LLC is that you can't go after personal assets, and we're going to get into that too. So any smart investor puts stuff in an LLC. You don't have to, but it's very smart to put your properties in an LLC to protect your personal assets. We'll get into that as well a little bit. Is everybody okay? You guys bored? Should we quit? Should we stop?
No, keep going.
You guys learning something? Good. That's amazing. All right. Did I miss something in the last one? What was the bottom?
I wanted to do the short-term rental thing.
Oh, I do want to mention this. So long-term rentals are still preferred with lenders, okay? There are a lot of lenders now that are coming with the times, and if you have a short-term rental, Airbnb, short-term rental, or I know a lot of people now are like, well, I'm going to rent a place, get 6 houses, do student housing, put people in their rooms. Some lenders still will not rent to that, but if they do, lend to those types of properties. If they do, you better be able to prove that you have at least 12 months of verifiable history on short-term Airbnb to be able to prove that, to get that loan, okay? And the rate may be a little bit higher because, it's still old school, and they would prefer to have one person on a lease in a property for at least a year. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now I got it. You guys just want the ice cream. Okay. All right. Why do prepayment penalties exist?
Yes.
Why?
adjust the tax abatement. I know there's a few issues that do occur.
Very good. You can, now you get this and you can stand up and read that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Why do prepayment penalties exist? Interest, income protection. Lenders price loans assuming they will collect interest over a set number of years.
Hold that thought. Does everybody understand that, right? Yeah. You go to a bank, you lend money, they want that money, that's 30 years. Right now, when you get a mortgage, and no offense to my lovely Allison here, but when you get a mortgage 30 years, right? We've all heard the stories, and you see all these things on TikTok and wherever, 30-year mortgage, okay? You're paying almost, the house costs $300,000. Over 30 years, you're probably paying close to $600,000 for that house on a mortgage. That's what banks want you to do. So, what Allison, being the bright young lady that she is, and would advise you that there are ways to pay it off quicker and things like that, which cuts down on the interest, because you're paying interest for the first 10, 12 years until you actually get into principal, which is ridiculous. But keep going.
Offsetting early payoffs. If a borrower pays a loan off early via refinance, property sale, or cash windfall, the lender's projected profit drops.
Makes sense, right? Yeah. That's why I put prepayment in the last one.
Risk mitigation. The penalty serves as a financial buffer to compensate the lender for the cost of reinvesting that capital in a potentially lower rate market.
So basically what this says are banks are horse and they want to make money. Yeah. Okay. All right, so prepayment penalties, let's talk about it real quick. The standard is a 5-year step-down payment, which means 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which means if you pay off the loan, if you sell the property, the first year that you get the loan, you have to pay a 5% penalty on the sale price. In the second year, you pay 4%. In the third year, you pay 3%. The fourth year, you pay 2%. The fifth year, you pay 1%. It drops down, okay? There's also a 3, 2, 1, okay? There's also, now, prepayment penalties affect the rate. The best prepayment penalty you can get is a 5-year flat rate of 5.555, which means for the first 5 years, it's basically 5% if you sell the property. But before you sign up for that, that will get you the best rate. But before you sign up for that, you better be damn sure that you are not going to sell that property within 5 years. Otherwise, you're going to lose money. That's why they do these drop downs: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. And can you get a property with 0 prepayment penalty? Yes, you can, but it'll cost you in the rate. Okay? Can we get him a microphone?
I thought if the loan was less than 200,000.
Thank you. I'll tell you in a second. Don't worry. It's right here. There's a very good point. So in Pennsylvania, DSCR loans are subject to specific prepayment penalty restrictions based on the loan size and property type. For instance, some lenders cannot charge a prepaid penalty on a loan amounts that are under $312,000 and change on 1 to 2 unit properties, which means that the rates will be higher. Okay, so that sucks. Because if your property is under $312,000 and it's 1 to 2 units, 3 and 4 units you don't have to worry about. 1 to 2 units, you cannot get a prepayment penalty and the rates are going to be higher. But there are some lenders that don't lend from banks and they lend from insurance companies, and we can get around that. Does that make sense? Because insurance companies don't have the same regulations as banks, and they can charge a prepayment penalty. Okay, so I've run into this a lot where I have borrowers. Not every one of my borrowers is $1 million. Okay, truth. No, so a lot of my clients have properties that are under $300,000, and I'm able to get them loans and prepayment penalties because I don't use a bank lender. I use a lender that uses an insurance company. Okay. How the loan process works. This is so interesting. Oh my God, you guys, this is amazing. You guys are just going to be riveted on the edge of your chair. Okay. Oh, wait, another quote. Who?
Buy land, they're not making any more of it. Everybody.
Has there ever been a truer statement, right?
Everybody pins this one on a Mark Twain. He probably never said it.
Probably never
doesn't make it any less true.
Was anybody around when Mark Twain was around? Does anybody know him? Because we could ask. So, isn't that true? Buy land, they're not making money over it, and any more of it. And Mark Twain, it was a long time ago, and it's true for the time being. I mean, once our man Elon, settles colonies on Mars or the moon, then it's going to change things a little bit, and then there's going to be a whole big, another wild moon. So, okay. That's what I said. Wild. That's what I meant. A wild west in the moon. Okay. All right, for the purpose of this presentation, I will be giving you a step-by-step scenario of the loan process for a DSCR cash out. And I told you this stuff is just so riveting, so amazing. But I have to tell you, it's actually boring as hell. But try to stay awake. Does anybody need anything? Joel, someone, hand out some more candy. Let's give you guys some sugar. Does anybody? There's plenty of pizza, guys. There's plenty of drinks. Pop quiz. All right, pop quiz. What does BRRRR stand for? No, raise your hand. Come on. Who wants to? My man. Now you're there. Keep going. Do you ever got it? Rent. Then what do you do? Yes. There you go. Okay. All right. So step one, call me. I'm here to help. Seriously, in any way. Whether I do the deal or not with you, I'm here to help. And I'll look, right here. Right here. Allison, read this. Come on.
My goal is to share my knowledge and experience and to help investors make smart and profitable choices. I want you to be successful.
I want you to hear it from her because you might not believe me. But that's the truth, okay? I want to help you guys. I want to help anybody. That's just my nature, okay? I want to help people. That's why I do this, and I get a great satisfaction out of doing it. If I can help you, I will. I'm available anytime. Well, not anytime, but call me. I'll call you back. We can discuss this scenario. I'll advise you the best I can, honestly, on what's best for your scenario. And if you use me, great. If you don't, just don't ever come back here. All right. This is amazing. You ready for this one? Fill out an application. Whoa, mind-blowing. Woo. Okay. Application, basic property information, basic personal information, basic LLC, and that's what we need. I need that information at a minimum to submit for rates and terms. It's all very easy stuff. Let's go. Next.
You see, you do a softball, not a hard pull.
Where to say that?
Right there in a second.
Yes, I'll get to that.
Okay.
You're always one step ahead of me.
I've not seen it.
No.
Like, he's always needed it in.
See that? All right, soft credit pull. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do a soft pull. Now, here's the thing. You guys are sitting back saying, well, I have Experian. I have, what's the other one? I have Experian. Yeah. I got all Credit Karma. And my credit score is 720. When you do a credit score for a mortgage or a loan, this is the most stringent credit that you're ever going to be, that's ever taken, okay? Your scores will be lower than those pumped up online things that want you make you feel good. And that's good. It's relevant for some things, but for a mortgage, it's not. So first thing I'm going to do is do a soft pull. And the reason I'm going to do a soft pull is because I want to find out where you are, credit-wise. When you do, I lost my train of thought. So credit score. So soft pull does not harm your credit at all. It doesn't get reported like a hard pull. We eventually will have to do a hard pull, but that's only when you guys agree to do the loan. I'm not going to do it until you agree to do the loan because then it's going to hurt you guys, okay? Because a hard pull always lowers your score a little bit, it changes it. So I'll do a soft pull, find out where you are to make sure we're in the right range because credit score is very, very important. And a lot of people don't talk about this. And hang on, like, who said that? Here's a question. Just hang on for 1 second. So, who has kids? Please talk to your kids about this. This is so important. It's so effed up, but it's important that your credit score, and God, it's a mystery. It's like one of those questions about what is the meaning of life? What is your credit score? It's the same thing. Nobody knows how these credit scores are devised and how they're handed out and how they're figured out. Really, nobody knows. But talk to your kids because this is so important. You need to get them 3 trade lines, okay? 3 credit cards or something. and they need to pay stuff on, and I'm going to get into this a little bit further. I'm going off tangent a little bit because I'm passionate about this, because your kids need good credit scores to do anything, because I've had how many people call me and they can't get a loan because and I'll get into this in a second, their scores are too low, and we'll get into this. But please, talk to your kids, make sure that their credit is good and they pay everything on time. Do not be late. Do not be 30 days late. Some lenders will allow you one 30-day late in 12 months, some will not. It kills your credit, okay? And you got to wait a while to get that off. Sorry, I went on a tangent there, but it's very important, and I'm passionate about this. Yes, my dear. That's the thing. There are no classes. The college kids, my kids all went to college. Well, actually 2 out of 3 of them went to college, but they were not taught any of this stuff. They don't know this from Adam. They didn't even know, well, nobody knows how to balance a checkbook anymore, but they don't know any of this stuff about banking and credit cards, the difference between a charge card and a credit card, all this kind of stuff. They don't know any of this, so yes.
So you would need a personal guarantee against the loan, a personal person, or an LLC?
Even in an LLC, if you're sole owner or have partners, somebody has to guarantee that loan, yes. And it's usually the person in the LLC we use with the better credit score. Yes?
So I know we talk about the 3 credit bureaus, but what I tell people most of the time, there's 9. So if you don't make your adjustments with all 9 credit bureaus, you're going to have a low credit score. And I suggest that everyone find out all 9 of them: Innovis, Clarity, Sage Stream.
There are 3 main ones, and then there are other ones. So it is important. That's why on your team, oh my God, excuse me, on your team, it's good to have a good credit person on your team. I know a good credit person. I'd be happy to turn you on to them and introduce you. But nobody does this stuff for free. But she.
I do.
I'm the only one that does it for free.
Okay, we got a crazy lady over here that does it for free. So everybody go give her your name and number and go get some credit done. But no, and listen, they work hard, and getting your credit, I mean, it's a pain in the you-know-what to get your credit score and get all that stuff fixed. I have somebody, this young lady's, God bless her, if she wants to help you, but you need a good credit person. All right, let's keep going. So, I'm sorry?
Did you get the question in the back?
Did I get it? Yes. I got your question.
Oh, here, give me this one. So yes, you do need a personal guarantor. So even though you don't need your income, your personal income, that it's for these types of loans, it's based on the property's income, you still have to have a guarantor who's signing on the loan, and you have to do a credit check on that person. So that's kind of the only personal thing, is your credit check that is required for this type of loan. And you can get better rates if your credit score is higher, and if your credit score is lower than the lenders require, then you might not be able to get that type of loan. Oh, we have 10 minutes from Derek. 10 minutes.
Okay, we might have to stretch that, but I'll go faster.
How about 15?
Okay.
All right.
Well, who has to leave?
I do.
No ice cream.
All right.
No soup either.
We can skip this.
No, I want to, so look, the minimum score is usually about 660. If your credit score is below 660, you got to get it repaired. You got to get your score up. You need to find out what it is, okay? Sometimes there are exceptions. Maybe we can go a little lower on some of them, but to do any kind of these DSCR loans or anything, or even a fix and flip loan, your score has to be at least a 660. It actually goes in groups of 20. 660 is one level, 680, 700, 720, 740. The higher your score, the better the rate. And if you're close, you're in between, we can do something called a rapid rescore. Rapid rescore, we run it, we see what things we need to pay off in order for you to achieve that next level. It does cost money. Sometimes it's not a lot. Sometimes a couple $100. Sometimes it's pretty cheap to do to get your score up. And that will reduce your rate, which over 30 years will save you a ton of money. So it's very good to look into. All right. I've had people that were under 660, and I've been able to do this to get them above that loan so we can get the loan done. All right. All right. Credit do's and don'ts. All right. This I'm going to, opt out. Okay. When you do a credit, when they do a hard pull, it triggers leads where credit companies sell your information to lenders who will call you and say that you're looking, it's a pain in the butt, right? You guys have you guys experienced this? All of a sudden you do a hard pull, you're buying a car, you're leasing a car, credit card, you get a credit card and you're inundated with all these calls from people. There's a way to opt out of this. It will be in the presentation. Allison very nicely put this information, there it goes, right there. Okay, but look at that because you don't want to get those calls. All right, do's and don'ts, pay bills on time. Pay the minimum. If you can't pay the whole bill, pay the minimum. Do not go 30 days. It will kill you, okay? Don't have any late payments and don't, I know this sounds ridiculous, but when we're looking at refinancing, do not open a new credit card. Don't go out and start a new credit card. Don't go lease a car. Don't go buy anything. It's going to hurt your credit. Let us get the loan done, and then you can go do that cash out, get that $150,000, and then do whatever you want. All right, step 4, obtain rates and terms. Very quickly, that's the next step I do after I get all the information. I send it out to lenders, anywhere from 3 to 6 lenders, depending on the situation, who I think is a good match, and I'm going to get you the best rates and terms. Anything else? Did I miss anything else? Let me know. This is a sample of a loan, a rate and term sheet, which I love from this one lender. It tells you everything. It has 3 different scenarios. It has origination points 2, 1, 0. You can see that the LTV is 75%. The rate changes depending, there's a 7. The higher the origination points, the lower the rate. You can see that. It tells you how much your closing fees are. It tells you, how much you have to pay off right here of that existing loan. It tells you how much your monthly payment's going to be, your monthly cash flow is going to be, and boy, that's a good deal, isn't it? Monthly cash flow, $1,100, okay? And it tells you how much money on a cash out on this one deal that I actually did. It tells you how much money you're going to walk away with. So this form I really like. And this is what I'll do. I send you the form and we go over it so you understand everything, all the fees, all the costs, all that kind of stuff. This is a sample loan comparison analysis I did for another property. Allison doesn't want me to talk about this one, but I'm going to. Probably get me in trouble later. So this is a cash out refi. This is a rate and term. This is the loan. This is the same as this column, right? This is the loan that they have, 7.130. This is the amount of this is their cash flow. That's the rent. That's the PITIA, okay? The amount this is the rent, and that's the amount they're paying for the mortgage and everything, okay? Now, the reason I want to show this is because a new loan with a cash out, you go from 7.1 to 6.75, a lower rate, okay? But this is a cash out. They're able to pull out $88,000 of equity, okay? But by doing that, their mortgage expenses increases. That's because the loan amount went up. So their net profit is going down about $300, all right? But they're pulling $88,000 out, okay? You understand that? It's a little tricky. On this one over here, it's a rate and term. Look at the rate, 6.7, 6.2. Better rate. We should actually get that lower. We try to get that close to 0. So you're getting a little bit of cash, but we try to get that closer to 0.
It's just a cover flow.
Yeah, and your PITIA is 3,200. So actually, you're gaining on a rate and term. You're not pulling any cash out, but you're gaining $500 every month. Again, I know these examples are kind of pie in the sky. I wish everybody could get $1,500 a month on their rental income, but those loans are not there as much as they used to be. They really aren't. You're lucky if you get, look, $300, $400 a month is great. Times 10 rental properties, and you're doing very well. Okay. All right, this is a sample REO analysis that I did. She did. Yeah, she did. So, and for a client, I went in, and this is what I do, an REO analysis. They had 22 properties, 55 doors, and we went into it. We did, this is sell versus refi. This tab, which we can't hit here, is an interest rate. This is by equity. This is by cash out refi. This is cash from. So what we do is we analyze your REO schedule and advise you on what to do with your properties, which ones to buy, which ones to sell, which ones to do rate and term refunds, which ones to do cash outs, etc. So just a sample of some things we do. All right, step 5, riveting stuff, loan application. Once you choose the loan program, you reach out to the lender and you have to do an application. The application will include permission to run a hard credit pull, a background check, okay, and a link to order your appraisal. That's when you have to spend money, right then and there for the loan, okay? Once you agree to the loan and everything, they're going to do a hard pull, they're going to do a background check, and you have to pay for the appraisal. All right, next. Submit the documents. Depending on the loan type, I'll send you a list of documents that are required. Pro tip, if you guys have done loans before, please, 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 this is so important, have all your stuff ready, all your documents ready, have your files ready, have every single LLC, well, there's another, and then we'll send it to a title company. Next one is, yeah, see, right here, have all this stuff, the document checklist, okay? You want to have all these documents on your LLC ready to go at all times. You want to have your ID, you want to have your social security card, all this stuff we're going to need, okay? Leases, oh my God, please have your leases updated. I can't tell you how many times people send me leases that are 5 years outdated and the amounts of money are wrong, and it drives me crazy. As a landlord, please, for your own mental health, keep up on this stuff. Make sure, and that's why it's good to use a property management company, but make sure these leases are up to date, they have the right amount of rents, they're the right tenant in there and all that, otherwise it will delay the process. Submit to underwriting. Usually I can do one of these deals in 30 days, as long as you guys are cooperative and get me the docs, Michelle, and help out. Loan closing, like I said, 30 days. Underwriting, always, they're like the IRS, right? They go in, they audit you, they're always going to find something, some little stupid thing that they need to change, but that's what they do. So they'll find a couple things. We have to come back and get them conditions and whatever, and once all the conditions have closed, we schedule the loan for the closing. Be careful, because when you do title, sometimes you don't know, but there's a judgment, a lien, a bill that's due or something like that. All that has to be covered at closing before you can settle.
You mean water bills?
Yes. Oh, yeah. If you owe the city money, oh, yeah. All right. Refinance complete. Receive your cash out proceeds. If you're using the BRRRR method, what is the last thing? What does the last R stand for, my man? Repeat. There you go. Repeat. And then, seriously, this is what's great about this loan. You pull cash out of it. You have a 30-year fixed rate, okay? You're getting income. Your property's gaining value, appreciating every day or every year, right? And you take that money, and what do you do with it? You reinvest it. You come back here, and you get a loan from Jumpstart, and you start the process all over again. And this time you did one property. Maybe you do two this time. Maybe $50,000 gets you two properties. Maybe, maybe it's for a down payment or whatever. You start doing two. And then that's how you build momentum, and you keep going and going and going, and then you become a real estate mogul. All right. All right, so pitfalls. We're going to go through these very quickly. These are all pitfalls, okay? I will navigate them with you. Don't worry. I will go through them all, make sure that we don't fall into the pit. Okay, couple things. Hiring an unreliable contractor, again, no offense, or underestimating project timelines. This, seriously, contractors, and not just contractors, but not having accurate rehab costs and knowing how much it's going to cost you kills you, okay? It kills you. Also, not having accurate ARV. Anybody know what ARV is for? That's a lot of candy, Jenna. Anyway, after repair value, please have a realtor check, or a property manager, somebody who knows the area, knows what the ARV is going to be, so that you don't mess up, because that is a pitfall, because it may not appraise for what you think it's going to do. Insufficient rental income, again, a realtor can help you with that.
ARV, what was the after one?
Okay, after repair value.
Oh, after repair.
Yeah. So it's exactly what it says. After you fix it up, it's going to be worth more than when you started from.
Okay.
Insufficient rental income, have somebody check that for you. There are some sites you can go to find out what the rental income is, because if it doesn't have enough rent, it will not, it will not DSCR, and then that could be a problem. No signed leases. All right, keep going. I did. Poor credit, late payments. Okay, we did that. Okay, using your personal name instead of an LLC. Always better to use an LLC. It doesn't cost much to get an LLC started. You do not need to go to a lawyer. You do not need to go to an accountant. We can tell you how to do it. There's websites you can do it. An LLC is about, what, $175, honey?
$125.
Something like that in that area. So it's not that expensive for the year, okay? Now, There's a new thing where you have to file your LLC every year, so be careful of that too, by September 30th. How much? $7. Okay. So buying in your personal name exposes your personal assets to liability. All right, so there's a lawsuit or something like that. If it's in your personal name, you could be at risk for personal assets. Most companies want you to hold it in LLC. You don't have to. Some will not lend to you if you have it in your personal name, and others will.
And you have to pay transfer taxes if it's in your personal name and you're switching.
Once you have a property, that's a very good point. Once you have a property in your personal name and you want to switch it to an LLC, even though you might be the sole owner of the LLC and you're yourself, by switching it, you have to pay transfer taxes. Yes. That's a case-by-case scenario, and you may or may not have to. I don't know the answer right off of that if you have to pay transfer taxes, but if you're changing an entity, yes. But I don't know the exact situation to answer that question, but I can find out for you. If you have a specific scenario, I can find out for you.
Say I do have real estate in a trust name. Do you do loans with DSCR?
I believe so. Yep. Okay.
The appraisals, are they full appraisal and then interior and exterior appraisal?
The appraisal for the house? Okay, when they do an appraisal for your house on a DSCR loan, they're looking at two things. They're looking at the value of the house, okay? They're looking at what the house is worth, and they're looking at the rental income. That's what they're looking at. Both those things need to match up. Hold on, let me just finish up, then I'm going to open up for questions and ice cream. Jenny, ready? Okay. This presentation was a high-level review of the finance process. Feel free to contact me. That is me. I'm going to leave. Am I leaving that up? Yeah. I'm leaving that up. So I have a digital business card, and you can do it from my phone. You can do it from here. And if it's okay, where's Derek? And oh, hey, we okay to open up for questions and ice cream?
I just want to quickly say thank you so much, Sam. This presentation was excellent. Really appreciate his time. And